Hi friends, this is Joe. This is episode number 153 of the Decahedron RPG podcast. And this is another episode that started out as feedback and it just went too long. So I said, this is an episode. Oops, I just hit this branch. This is another outside episode, by the way. All the snow has melted. It is still a cold day in late autumn 2024. Anyway, this is a response to an episode of the Nerds RPG Variety Cast done by Jason, specifically season 2, episode 13, where Jason posed this question.
Do you specifically set up certain sites on the map for the players to exploit and write the bonuses on what they'll get from exploiting it down when you design your scenarios? Or do you just design your scenario and leave it wide open for the players to come up with their own exploits and then on the spot during the game assign the benefits they would get for getting those exploits?
So that's the question. Real briefly, my answer is no. I do not set up these little treats ahead of time. I do not set up areas where I say, yes, if the players go here, they're going to have a +2 or whatever. I do it all on the fly, and the rest of this episode is going to be the why. The first reason why is because that's very tactical. And I've talked about it before. I'm not a tactical type guy. I know a lot of people are. More power to you. That's the kind of game that you like. That's not me. I don't like it when we're playing this role-playing game and we're going and we're role-playing and we're having a good time and all of a sudden there's combat. Stop the role-playing, put out the battle map, take out the miniatures, take out the rulers or whatever, and go in strict turn order and count out exactly how many squares you're going to move and all that stuff. It's just not me. I don't like that for a number of reasons. First, and probably overall, is if one of the players, if the character is supposed to be this 8th level fighter, supposed to be a tactical genius, but the player himself isn't tactically minded, it's a disconnect between the game and the fiction, and I don't like that. And I know, wow, this could be a whole episode of its own. I know that in other places, I'm just the opposite. Like when it comes to puzzles, I make the players solve the puzzles, even though their character may have known what it is. So I'm guessing it's one of those things that's different for everybody, where that dividing line is and for which situation. But for me, for combat, I don't like tactical rules in combat. I like it abstract and loosey-goosey. The other thing I don't like about pre-planning these bonuses is it's kind of a reward for the player for thinking the same way I do. Or put in a different way, if they don't think that way, it's kind of like a penalty for the player if they don't think the same way I do. And I think the game, as a role-playing game, is already too heavily weighted in the GM's favor, if you will. So we don't need to say, because you didn't think like I do, you miss out on this bonus. It's not my kind of thing. I prefer to keep it wide open and to let the players come up with things. Is there a ledge over here I could climb up on? And then, based on what I know about the room, if I already described it as a perfectly smooth sphere or whatever that you walked inside of, it's my hamster wheel room. It's one of the trick rooms I use. Anyway, there's not going to be a ledge. It's not that kind of room. On the other hand, if I said it was a balcony or something where, there's absolutely a ledge. Anywhere in between, there might be, I don't know. I'm just going to roll a die for it. And in fact, in Tunnels and Trolls, this is a great use for the luck stat. I love using luck for this. Like in a big warehouse, they say, is there a crate I can dodge behind? They're being fired upon. Well, yeah, there's going to be crates all over the place. It's a warehouse. But is there one right next to them? I'm not one of those GMs that draws out where every crate is on the map and everything. Make a luck roll. Make the luck roll? Yeah, there's one right there. Dodge behind it. Go for it. So that's the second reason, is it penalizes players for not thinking the way I do. The third reason I like my approach of not having all this pre-planned and written out is that it creates a richer environment, a more dynamic environment. You know, there's only one of me. I only have one brain. But there's like 4 players, and so between us, there's 5 brains. So while we're on the play, the players will come up with things I never thought to think of, because there's 4 of them, and they're in that mindset. They're in a different mindset than I was when I made it. And yeah, so go with that. Encourage that player input and let them do their thing. The end result is this environment that seems more alive and more dynamic and more planned out. It's much better than anything I would have ever come up with alone. All right, that's it. Nice short episode this time. Short episode still was too long to be feedback though. Thanks for listening and or watching. Let me know what you think, or better yet, listen to Jason's episode and let Jason know what you think. But if you want to leave me feedback, of course, if you're on YouTube, you can leave comments below. You can send feedback to feedback@decahedron.com. That can be text, or it can be audio, or on telephone, you can call 562-RPG-CAST. All that information is on screen right now. If you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, you're listening to the podcast, it's in the show notes. That's it. Again, thanks for listening and you're watching. And until next time, happy gaming, happy life. Bye.